So now we come to the last speaker, and this is going to be a grand finale. If there's one take-home message for today, you'll probably get it from here, something that you can implement straight away. So the speaker is Carolyn Lau. She's the co-founder of Sampah, Menyampah, and she has traveled down to be here today from KL. So Carolyn set up Sampah Menyampah, which is a volunteer citizens action initiative in 2017, spreading awareness to Malaysians on litter and plastic pollution. Sampah Menyampah launched their first campaign, Tak Nak Straw, which means say no to straws, in March 2017, and their second campaign, Tak Nak Plastic, which is no to plastic, in March 2018. This Merdaki month, in the spirit of Malaysia Baru of hope and change, they launched Merdaki Dari straw, which is freedom from straws, to push for straws being served only on request. We hope that her message today will spread to Johor as well. So it's up to all of us here today to take this important message back to our homes and businesses. So I'd like to welcome Carolyn to give her message.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to reach out to a lot of you and spread the message about simple plastic straws and why we need less of them. Okay, thank you for the introduction. That was great. So that's us. Nampak Sampah Menyampah. You see rubbish and you feel revolted and disgusted. Okay, that's the name of our group. Okay, as Tim mentioned earlier, we have that much going into the oceans every year. It doesn't matter about the figure anymore because these figures are just getting ridiculously large, right? And this wonderful image, very strong, powerful image, is that plastic pollution just, tip of the iceberg here for ocean health, and also actually for land health as well, and our own personal health, human being health. And we can't ignore this. I'm sorry if I'm saying stuff that you might already know, but I usually talk to primary school children, so it's all a bit primary, bear with me, yeah? My message is that all the oceans are shared. We can't say, oh, that's just America's problem, or, Costa Rica. It's our problem. We have to do something about it too, yeah? And I have to show the gory images because that's how I get my message home. So, yeah, the turtle on the left is actually a Malaysian turtle, yeah, on the east coast. Okay, so it's not like, oh, fluff-flung Costa Rica, which is the right turtle, right, the picture on the right, which is the turtle that started the whole no straw movement around the world. Spurred it on, actually. And this image of an albatross feeding its chick plastic, us human beings, in a way, we're doing the same thing to our own children. So it's I don't be scaremongering, as mentioned earlier by Dave. We don't have exact facts and statistics, but it was brought to my attention that perhaps research can't actually be done because there's no control study, because all us human beings have plastics in us, so there's no control to base anything against. Yeah, this would be better. So, so what was not maybe that we all know that microplastics are now in the food chain. And not just in the little plastic pieces, but in microplastics we can't see with the naked eye, and nanoplastics which can travel through our cell walls. And we're living in kind of like a plastic soup, and the bigger the fish, the more bigger the predator fish, the more plastic is in them. So, in a sense it's like, let's eat ikan bilis and not tuna, or less of tuna. So, these are the standard facts we get, the data we get from is supplied by the Ocean Conservancy. They collect data provided by volunteers all around the world. The next day is the 15th of September. It's a World International Oceans Day, I believe it's called, where volunteers just go out, given on that day for 2 hours, collect rubbish from the beaches, then they document it by phone, images, send it back to the Ocean Conservancy Council. They will then collate this data from all the beaches around the world, and they come up with figures like this. And so this is, I think, probably 2010. So we have 2016, 17, but I just use this slide. But you know, it's a lot of it is single-use disposables, and straws and stirrers are always there. Cigarette butts, I think, has always been number one. And back to Malaysia, we throw out a lot of waste. I don't know whether it's the same as Singapore, but we're, I think, on par. And it's going to be increasing. So our landfills now are not just 40 to 50% food waste, as mentioned by Tim, but a lot of that is plastics. And you know how we like to wrap our food waste in plastic bags, and they go to the landfill. So it's become incredibly inefficient to even tap methane gas or anything we can get out of the landfills. It's been difficult because of all the plastics in there. So, and it's going to increase, they predict. Okay, so what has a plastic straw got to do with all this? The plastic straw is the tip of the trash bird, and Malaysians, we just use them. And a lot of small businesses just need them to ply their goods, their drinks, right? So we have a great dependency on plastic straws, and it's estimated last year, I think it was in the Star newspaper, that Malaysians throw out 31 million plastic straws every day, based on the fact that, okay, not everybody drinks out and not everybody drinks cold drinks, but the ones that do, we are sitting there sometimes having 2 or 3 drinks, and each time the drink comes with a plastic straw, and so that makes up for the rest of the population in terms of numbers. So this is kind of like standard. If you did do beach cleanups, and there are a lot more groups in Malaysia now doing beach cleanups, this is what you can come up with. And then the pile of cigarette butts is probably even larger in quantity, if not volume, but it's there. Cigarette butts are quite bad. So, as Sampah Menyampah, we go to schools, we just have our collateral awareness is just the storyboard of the journey of a plastic straw. So we describe how Malaysians might have a meal and how the straw gets thrown away into landfills where with the accumulated plastics it could over time leach into our water tables or get blown by the wind or swept by the rain into drains, into the oceans and back into our food chain. Very simple. And so with that, we try and get people to take this pledge, which is adopted from the standard straw movements around the world, which is basically a 5-point pledge. The first is to say no to a plastic straw. No thanks. I'll have my drink without a straw. Just as just as people choose what drink they want to have from the menu, they can choose or not whether to have a straw or not. The first thing is to try and refuse it. Second is, if you really enjoy drinking with a straw, or you need to drink with a straw, as some people do, bring your own. There are a lot of reusable alternatives out there. Our store here has a display of them, and it's something that's just simple enough to carry in your bag with you, and then you are responsible for its own hygiene, right? Because the perception is that I don't want to drink out of that glass because it might not be clean, but you bring your own straw and maybe helps you in your perception. The third step is to reach out and tell your friends and family. The fourth one is to take your favorite restaurant, talk to them and say, hey, how about just serving straws on request? Yeah? And the fifth one is like, how about serving straws if you are on request, which are earth-friendly, or hey, not even have straws at all. So why I'm grateful for this opportunity with people in the industry, food and beverage industry, is you play a very, very big part in the awareness. You're crucial. It all comes from many, many layers, and yes, it stems down to the individual. But we have a lot of people come up in our work and say, hey, I go out and order a drink. It comes with a straw. It's kind of like not my problem now because they're serving it. And then I speak to the people in cafes and restaurants and going, I can't still not serve a straw. They'll hate me for it. I can't afford to have a customer complain, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22 thing, but nobody's really talking to each other. We did this experiment with the Publica, this image on the left, and with the help of Publica, they printed out table cards to the participating outlets that were interested to try this out just for the weekend. So this was at the social in Publica, so I like to call it the social experiment. Over the weekend, the waiters just were told, okay, this weekend, straws are on request. The table card says so because our message here was because the earth cannot digest plastic. Behind the card were a few more facts about what's wrong with plastic straws, can't be recycled, they take 200 years to degrade, you just use them for 20 minutes, they languish in the landfills for hundreds of years, and they get into our food chain, and they cause a lot of havoc and detriment to wildlife and sea life. So just based on that, after one day, the next day when I went and checked with the head waiter, I said, how did it go? And he said only 20% asked for straws. So that's a savings of 80%. It's not just a savings of plastic straws ending up in the landfills, it's a savings of cost, right? I know, Malaysia is the cheapest country in the world to buy plastic straws. People are coming to buy straws from us. But that's not solving the bigger picture, because the cost of cleanup is huge, you know. It's immeasurable. Another way is to have the card at the front, if you're in a cafe, as the people are making their orders. Again, you have a message to say, you know, just do your thing as being a good citizen. And it's up to people to make the choice. And the reason being is that individuals had to make the choice for any change to happen. Even if the government were to ban straws, human beings still need to change our habits of consumption. Whether it's plastic water bottles or plastic bags, we need to be aware of why we make these choices. So, as I mentioned earlier, the F&B industry can play a big part in spreading the awareness. The only third thing we have on our campaign collateral is a range of different straws of what's cool, what's not cool, and what is the coolest, which is obviously no straw at all, because the human mouth is designed to drink straight from the cup. Really. And you know, if anybody have questions about, but what about the ice and all that, come talk to me. I got all kinds of simple solutions that don't need anything disposable. And plastic is a disposable, you know, it's kind of like a misnomer, right? Because it lasts forever. So I just want to, this slide here, you can see all the straws there, but this one is the green one is interesting because it's papaya stem. And this is like, you know, Four Seasons Hotel in Lombok will do their little drinks by the pool with papaya stem, and how oh so tropical can you get, right? And papaya stems free, you just grow them around the backyard outside your restaurant kind of deal, right? And you just cut the stem, soak it in salted water for an hour just to sterilize the outside. You can prepare them, put them in a Tupperware in the fridge for up to 4 days. You can have your constant supply of papaya stem straws, which do not taste bitter, and are compostable when they're thrown away. So that's, to me, the most, you know, and along with bamboo, are the most earth-friendly straws going. Okay, and also you see there are a lot more now coming out in the market. They're all a bit gimmicky, but human beings, we like choice, so we have them there just to show the choice, range of choice. So, we've done a whole year's work speaking to the individuals at shopping malls or at schools, at universities, and promoting butternut straw. This year, as mentioned earlier, on the spirit of change in Malaysia, with the new Malaysia Baru, we thought, right, we're going to do this. Let's Merdeka Dari straw, folks. And so we have this campaign running from all of August until the 16th of September, but hopefully beyond. And we're trying to say to anybody who'd like to participate, get in touch with us. We will share you our collateral, whether you want to use it or not, but the ideas are there. You can tampal, you can place that logo there if you want, because it kind of inspires people. It's a very, very Malaysian Merdeka Day kind of graphic style. And to just serve straws on request, serve straws only serve, you can go the next first baby step, serve straws on request. You can start walking tall. You can say, okay, I'm only going to serve you earth-friendly straws on request. Or you can really, you know, go sprinting there and just not serve straws at all. Even the tallest of milkshakes can be drunk without a straw. If you were at home and you made that smoothie, you don't drink it with a straw, you just drink it from the glass. It tastes better, actually. You know, perhaps there's a question about the drinks on the go. Yeah, okay, drinks on the go. Maybe it's a whole part of the culture. I mean, I'm not a business person, so, but maybe we should all just think about slowing down instead of speeding people up. We should do like the Japanese and sit and eat, sit and drink. If you take on the go, great, but you don't have to have that straw drinking while you go. You sit and drink it. And so these are little changes in culture which we can reverse, because we were like that before. It's not impossible to imagine. We were like that before. So be brave, be bold. We're hoping that a lot of you will take a stance and just say simply, don't worry about the customers, the one or two. They might need it, they might fuss and grumble, but they are not status quo, okay? They are not the large crowd of customers, and you can be bold and brave, and I think the average person will respect you more for it, that you are doing something for the environment, and you are helping them also play a role in doing something for the environment. So with that, I'd like to end with just this one, because I'm an activist, I have to end with an image. Before that, this is a good image. This is what we have. We can offer you a place on the Butternut Straw map, which is a Google map, and we will hopefully wanting to pin all locations or venues that are straw-free or plastic straw-free, because we feel that if we're seen as a bigger whole, it'll just fire up people's imaginations more, and more people will be bolder to jump on board, yeah? And less individuals will complain. And this is the last image. This is a picture of a otter in Langkawi in a plastic bag. And I think, who threw the plastic bag, what did the plastic bag carry, and how long was the plastic bag used for before it was maybe blown into the ocean or just chucked and ditched and ended up in the ocean, and how this poor otter tried to get into it to look for the food in it and suffocate it. And I say this is my plastic bag. And I'd like to think that you might want to think of it, and your customers too, that it's also your plastic bag. Because we're all responsible, yeah? We all can't run from this. So that's my bit of activism there, saying just be part of the big picture, be bold and brave, and just sell straws on request or not at all. Thank you very, very much.
Well, I guess we had to end on a note of the environment, and what a note. I have to say, I completely endorse your efforts. I think you're doing a great job. I think we should all do something to make a difference. We all can do something, and I think we should be seen for being green. So if you're a zero waste restaurant, put it on your menus. Let your customers know that you're doing the right thing. Get rid of straws, obviously, and obviously plastic bags. But I would like to thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate your time.